All right. Good evening, Mother Goose Tribe. Dr. Carrie here with you tonight. So initially, this webinar was supposed to be building your birth team, and we were going to interview our amazing midwife, Kristen, from Lifesong Midwifery, but babies happen. So unfortunately, she's not able to join us tonight. She had to be called away, so we completely understand. So she is off that way. So we just wanted to still bring you guys some great information. So I wanted to talk two things tonight. One, I want to talk about birth providers because I've had a lot of questions lately about different birth providers and who can we use? Do we have to stick with this person over this person? So I want to talk to you a little bit about birth providers, and then I really want to talk to you guys about chiropractic and pregnancy and how it works. Because we get a ton of questions. I never knew chiropractic, you could use it during pregnancy, how, why, what, all that. So I want to answer all of those questions tonight as well. So let's start with birth provider. So you took that awesome pregnancy test, you saw those two pink lines, and you're kind of like, what do I do now? So the first thing, obviously, is to pick a birth provider. And that is going to be someone that is going to be aligned with your values and what you want. So you almost have to think about what type of birth you want before you decide on what type of provider you're going to go with. So if you are most comfortable in a hospital setting, being hooked up to monitors, all that kind of stuff, if that is your comfort zone, rock and roll, then you're going to want to go with an OB in the hospital. If you're like, I want a hospital birth, but I want it more natural, but I don't know kind of what's in between, there's hospital midwives. So you can have a midwife that still works in the hospital. So you have that, extra setting as well. If you're like, listen, a hospital is not for me, I freak out going into hospitals, I don't want that, you can go to a birth center. So you can have a midwife at a birth center if there's one in your area. If you're like, I don't want to go anywhere, I'm super comfortable at home, like I just want to be here, I can relax here, I have everything I need here, and you are low risk mom in pregnancy, then rock and roll, you can have a home birth with a home birth midwife. So there are tons of different options. Obviously, depending what is going on with your pregnancy. If you're, a high risk pregnancy, then obviously you need to see a provider that's going to take care of that. So that home birth might be not an option for you because you are high risk because of different things going on. So part of it is all of your history. But even that, when it comes to, I'm pregnant now and I've seen this OB for my annuals, every single year, and I start talking with them and I realize we're not really clicking when it comes to what I want for this pregnancy. You don't have to stick with that provider. Interview different OBs, interview different midwives, find whoever you mesh with best, because when it comes time for labor and delivery, you want the best scenario. You want the best person on your team and on your side so that things go the way that you want them to. That is going to be huge. So know that you do have options. You don't have to stick with the, one person. Talk to different providers, see who's the best fit for you. Talk to, and see, ask them questions, hey, this is the birth I want, is that something you do? Or, hey, I really don't want to do a C-section. I know that's a simple last resort for me. What is your C-section rate? Go ahead and ask them, because that's going to be huge. If you're going to, and you find out your provider primarily does C-sections, could be a little bit of a red flag. Hey, most of their moms end up in C-section. I want to stay far away from that if possible. Maybe go to someone, that doesn't have as high of a C-section rate, or ask why, or ask questions. That's the biggest thing. Ask questions. It's your baby. It's everything that's going on with your body, your changes. Please ask questions. Don't feel like you have to stick with one scenario or another. Even if they get, to different parts of your pregnancy, obviously if you're, 38 weeks, try not to be switching providers. Some providers won't take you if you're past a certain amount of weeks. So make sure from the beginning that you're finding someone that aligns with your values, aligns with what you want, and everything. At the same time, if you are someone that you want a C-section and that's the way, rock and roll. Like, find a provider that has the most experience doing that, right? So you might be on the other end of the spectrum where you're like, hey, that's what I want. I want to find the OB that has the most experience doing this. So definitely look into that. But just know that you have options when it comes to providers, and you have options when it comes to where you're going to give birth. So know that, mama. Ask questions. If you need a list of questions, let me know. I'll give you a good list to ask the providers so that you can be on the same page with them and find the provider that's going to fit your needs the best. With that being said, I want to switch over kind of into birth team and where chiropractic and pregnancy fits into all of that. So we love being a part of our mama's birth teams. We see our mamas from preconception all the way through postpartum, all the way through preconception and postpartum again, and multiple times. We've had some mamas in here that are on baby 3 or 4. So we've seen them through all their pregnancies, which has been amazing. Why, you might be asking, why I'm pregnant? Why would I see a chiropractor? So based on the research, everything we do in this office is based on research. So research shows that mamas under chiropractic care have shorter labor times with the need for less intervention. So less Pitocin, less just any different interventions that could come up. That they might try and speed stuff along, or they need this or they need that because we're stalling, all those kind of interventions. So less interventions, improved recovery from labor and delivery. So labor and delivery is a marathon. Even if it's, we had one of our mamas, maybe number 3, I think her labor was like an hour. She ended up catching baby at home. That's how fast it was. But faster recovery time from that. So it doesn't matter if your labor is an hour or your labor is 24 hours. Just faster recovery for your body when it's processing everything. We were just carrying a baby for 9 months. Now baby's here. Recovering from that is an ordeal. So recovery time is key. So shorter recovery times, quicker recovery times, better recovery overall, as well as just healthy pregnancies. And healthy pregnancies lead to healthy babies. So we love our little babies in here and we get to see them. That's honestly the best part. I take care of you pregnant mamas to get to see your adorable babies. I admit it. I love you guys too, but I mean, who doesn't love a little baby? Oh, I just saw one of them today too. Sorry. A little bit of a switcheroo. They're so cute. Oh, it gets me teary-eyed. Okay. I love all the little kids in here. It's great. But what does that mean for you during pregnancy with chiropractic care? So we have great outcomes based on research. A lot of it too is making sure, one, biomechanically, everything is where it needs to be. So in that aspect, it's more of, making sure your hips are aligned nicely. Everything kind of sits in our pelvis like a balloon. So if we get that balloon twisted, there's not going to be enough space in there for baby to turn when baby needs to, and just for comfort and everything else that goes on. So I make sure everything structurally is where it needs to be. All the ligaments are nice and loose. So as we expand, everything expands properly. As we go back, everything goes back properly. And that also plays into, like I said, that breech presentation. So making sure that there is enough room for baby in there so that when it comes time for baby to turn, whoop, we got plenty of room, baby's head down. A lot of times when we get patients that are later in pregnancy, we'll get them and it's because of breech presentation. So we don't turn breech babies. We just basically create the space in there so that if they have the room, they end up flipping themselves, which is great. I don't think we've had a mom that started under care early in their pregnancy and ended up breech. No, none of our moms have done that. But we do get the late pregnancy moms that are coming in and say, hey, my baby's breached, what can we do? So like I said, we just create that space in there for them. And then if God willing, they flip. And it's amazing. And we've helped a lot of mamas avoid C-sections that way, where they would have had to schedule because baby was breached. And so we've avoided that, which is amazing because that was the birth that they want. Like I said, if that's what you want, rock and roll, do what you want. But the main part of pregnancy and chiropractic care is your nervous system. So we make sure that your nervous system is functioning the way that it should. We make sure that your brain is talking to the rest of your body the way that it should. So the brain says, hey, we're going to make a heart today. Okay, we've got everything firing. So your body knows I'm making this heart today. We want to make sure that that signal is getting through and that it's nice and clear. And so that one, we can build a healthy baby because mama's staying healthy. Two, we get less stress and fatigue. It's taxing building a baby. It's tiring building a baby. Your body's putting, a lot of stuff together and a lot of things got to fit in the right place, right? So boosting that immune system helps lower that stress level, lower that fatigue level, and our mamas just feel better overall. Later in pregnancy, we've got those big bellies. I can attest I was humongous with Ananias. It puts a lot of stress and strain on shoulders, on low backs. And so just keeping everything moving, everything where it needs to be creates a lot less stress and strain in those joints. So you're not feeling people think, oh yeah, it's normal. I'm pregnant. I, have low back pain. No, you can help with that. It's making sure that we're doing everything that we need to and that everything's in the right place and that the nervous system's firing, then you shouldn't be having that low back pain. Also, we get a lot of mamas that will come in and are having digestive issues or they're constipated, things like that. And they're like, well, it's just normal. I'm pregnant. I'm supposed to be constipated. No, no, not normal. Common, yes. Normal, no. So we had a mom that started a week or two ago. And that was part of, she didn't even realize she came in for having pain and she was constipated, and we ended up diving into her health history and finding that out. And within a week or two, she's like, hey, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm like, yeah, that's what your body should be doing. Rock and roll. That is amazing. Who would you tell about that? Not that you necessarily want to share, but we share about that around here. It's a good thing. Going to the bathroom is a good thing. So if you're pregnant and you're constipated, please let me know. Let's fix that. No one needs to deal with that. If you're not pregnant, you're constipated, let me know. No one needs to deal with that. But making sure that your body is functioning and that immune system and nervous system are tip top is exactly what we want. So when it comes time for labor and delivery, and we've got anxiety levels that are high, right? So if you go into labor and delivery and you are stressed out, you're going to stall. Your body can't stay in a stressed out state and deliver a baby at the same time. So one really awesome part of our pregnancy care is if you need us during labor, call me. I've actually experienced this myself. So I went into labor with Ananias really early in the morning, and during the middle of the day, I stalled out. I was just tired. I didn't really sleep because it's first baby. I was excited and okay, let's do this. Like, what's going on? And so midday, I kind of stalled out. So luckily, Dr. Dane was there, and he got me adjusted, and literally my body was like jumpstart and go. So I almost punched him after. That's how strong the contractions were once he adjusted me. It was literally like adjusted me. A second later, contraction started. If he was within arm's length, I probably would have slugged him. Sorry, honey. I did not. So that's good. But that helps get everything back on track. So then we met Ananias not too long after that. I had moms that give me a call. We get them adjusted during labor. I love it. It's an honor. It's a privilege. And normally within an hour or two after that, I get to meet the little ones. So like I said, it's just so I can meet your snuggly little baby because they're adorable, right? Yes. Who doesn't love a snuggly little baby? I don't know. So if you need us during labor and delivery, we can be there depending on the situation. But just lots of great benefits to having a chiropractor on your birth team. So if you want to learn more, you're kind of like, okay, that kind of makes sense. I want to see how that would work for me personally. Give us a call, set up an appointment, and we'd love to talk with you. We'd love to meet you. We'd love to be a part of your birth team. Healthy pregnancies, healthy mamas make healthy babies. And it is just a great, and we love watching our families grow. So like I said, we've had moms in here that are now on baby number 3, some even baby number 4. So it's a lot of fun to watch those families grow and being a part of that for sure. And just having mom be empowered during birth and having the birth that you want is the most important thing. So if you're watching this and you're like, hey, I'm not in Southwest Florida, but this is making sense to me and I want to look into more about having a chiropractor on my birth team, please reach out. Hey, if you're New York, Michigan, California, I don't know where you are. But anyway, reach out to us and I will find you a provider in your area that'll be along the same page and get you taken care of during pregnancy, because it is so important. And it definitely helps with a multitude of things that you have during pregnancy. So we would be honored to be a part of your birth team or find you someone that's part of your birth team. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd love to answer questions. I'd love to just chat with you. If you want to just talk, call me. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I hope this was informative. And if you want to share with someone, please do. If you want to comment something, please comment, like, comment, share, follow, all that fun social media stuff. And I promise we will do an interview with Kristen as soon as everything can kind of line up, and hopefully no more little babies will be born, but that's what we do and we love it. So, as soon as we can, we'll get that to you guys as well. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you soon.